Hey everybody, this is Brian Galke and Parcaut. We are Aces53. So today's a Tuesday, it's Ed and I, and then on Thursdays we try and bring on a special guest or joker, someone with special skill or talent that we want to introduce y'all to or we want to learn from. So as you can see, I'm not in my humble abode. I am speaking at an event here. Well, I actually spoke at an event earlier today, RP Elevate here, talked to a bunch of real estate professionals and hopped off the stage, came here for this. So how you doing, Ed?
Good. Doing good. Yeah, that's why he doesn't sound good. You can hear the echo in his voice.
Oh, can you hear? Is the room bad?
It's just, you're not going through your mic on the, like we
Fine.
normally go through. So don't worry about it. We'll move on. I was watching Nuno stuff the other day. Speaking of that, we went to an event last week, Growth Hacking. What was that? Growth Hacking Live, GHL. Did I lose you there, Brian?
Oh, no.
There you go. That's better.
Yeah, hold on. I clicked the microphone. How about now?
Yeah, that's better. Better. Much better. No echo. Echo. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, it's funny because I'm going off the computer now, not the AirPods. So anyway, go ahead. Last week.
It's less than an echo. I'm sorry. It just is. All right. So last week, both of us, we were both at Growth Hacking Live, GHL. Who's going to get sued for what?
Yeah.
I guess you can't sue over initials unless you're IBM.
No, but they did have GHL at GHL, which was kind of funny.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we went to the GHL party the last night too.
Yep.
And I really enjoyed the event. I really like what Perry put on there and what he did. Yep. I've only been exposed to him through Driven. And I think the other thing was, remember at Traffic Conversion, we were at that mastermind thing.
Yeah.
Sunrise. What was it? Sunset, sunrise.
That was Mimosa. That was Mimosa Mastermind.
Yeah. And so, I mean, that's where I heard from. Prior to that, that's not my world. This marketing stuff that was in, I would only go to mortgage conferences, and unless there was somebody coming to speak about how to do this or how to do that, that's the only time I would find them. That's how I found Steve, because he spoke at one of them.
Yeah, it was good information, but damn, it was a lot of information. I think you and I were talking about before. I mean, everybody that they had speak had knowledgeable stuff to give away, and on top of that, they all had their own events coming up. Like, what was his name? Austin what?
Austin something. I'd have to hold on.
Yeah, I'd have to look at my notes. Anyway, Austin
Armstrong.
Yeah, Austin Armstrong.
And now I know that because I got his PowerPoint up over here. Because I'm going to create the thing that he did about how you can post for you using your prompt.
Nice. Yeah, he's got an event here in Dallas. So right now I'm in Dallas speaking at an event, and then next week is Vid Summit, which is October 6th through the 9th. I'm not going to go to that. I was going to look to volunteer, but I got family coming to town, so I'm not going to do that. And then on top of right after Vid Summit ends, then his event is the 9th through the 11th, which is AI Marketing, .com, right. I think. And then his event ends and the Go High Level event starts the 13th through the 17th. And I was just like, it's too much stuff.
Well, even this Grow, whatever it was called.
Growth Hacking Live.
Thank you. We were just at there. It was 3 days, and it wasn't just a few hours. I mean, the main stage, and they had breakout stuff, but just each day, just one thing was just a lot to deal with what they gave information and if you didn't go to your room that night and put everything together and put it going, then you're behind. And that's where I'm at. I'm like, I can't go. I need to only go to one of these, get all that information, get it into play. And I have. The biggest takeaway for me was about vibe coding and what I'm doing with that.
Well, and that's a good point you bring up is there's the smarter events, I'll say, because there's still events that go on. But the smarter thing that I'm seeing at events is people are having breakout and work sessions. And so, that was one of the things that Steve added into the last, at least the last speakeasy I went to in New York City, is it wasn't just speakers. It was like, okay, now take a half an hour and actually go implement something, go do something. And one of the big things that they had is I had a dinner, so I didn't go, but you went and did a 4-hour vibe coding session where they had coaches in there.
Yeah, 7 to 11. And when I first saw it, because I've heard about it, but I've never been exposed to it. But when Perry talked about and showed it and talked about what he did, and then I went to it and I would start playing with it.
Yeah,
I should have done an easier app my first time, but it was I was like, if you can create your own software, how much software, how advanced can you get? And my only issue that I have, because I'm almost finished with my mortgage origination software that I created for myself, so I don't have to pay for 2 other softwares, $200 a month. It's almost finished. And it was only not finished there is because I ran out of credits, and the area and everything else didn't like my cards because I was out of my location, and it just had problems. And so once I got back and set everything up, it started. But then, there's just so many different things. Like you can take any application that you use and you can clone it, and then it's yours. And the question is, well, in the past that was thievery, but now it's not. It's so weird.
It is. That's the kind of fascinating thing is it's kind of like if you take a book, you have to change 20% of it, and then it's okay. But with apps, literally everything that's out there, it's like, hey, I like that app, but I could improve it. And as long as you're not calling it the same thing, but you're doing something similar, it's okay. Like you said, they gave a live example of where he sat and what he said, it took him 2 hours to duplicate something.
Yeah.
And it's not massive. And when people think software, they think it's got to be like Oracle. It's got to be this huge, massive thing. And that's not what apps are. Apps are just what is a simple function that can be done easily. Now, you can make them as advanced and complex as you want, but it could be simple ones. And the example he used is he just showed somebody how to recreate a timer. And that was it. But it's a timer apps or something people pay for. And to your point, they gave so much information. And what I do like is most of the people that were there speaking are they're either in the membership already, right? Or they're coaches or staff, like faculty members, whatever you want. And that was one of the reasons I went. Steve used to be on the faculty for Driven, but Driven was way out of my price point. But the Ignite was within my price point. I mean, it's still a stretch to spend that money up front, but seeing what not just the people on stage, but the people in the room. I mean, so we went to the VIP dinner and we sat next to just normal everyday people who aren't in Driven. They're in the lower tier one, but they're still successful. Oh, looks like you locked up.
Huh?
Well, for me, you looks like you locked up. All I saw was
that would be probably your Wi-Fi.
Probably my hotel Wi-Fi, yeah. But it's funny because
900 by 900.
Yeah, it froze with your eyes closed. I was like, oh, okay, is he meditating right now?
I was taking a nap.
Breath work.
It's funny because you were still going on my side.
Yeah. But anyway, so we went to the dinner at the Brazilian steakhouse. Way too much meat. Way too much meat.
God.
But
had the meat sweats.
I mean, there was a lady who sat next to me who her whole thing was she has a community for women over 50 who don't have kids. And, then there was another one who did religious stuff. And that's what was interesting is the attendees, and we've talked about this numerous times, the attendees were almost as interesting as the people up on stage because the attendees seem like a milestone that you can reach because they're similar to you. They're just a few steps ahead versus Perry's a multimillionaire. So him up on stage, I'm like, I did this. I'm like, I don't know. But sitting at the dinner table, and we met some really cool people at dinner, it's the people that are in the communities is why I ended up joining it.
Yeah, I did it because of the connection that you make. You know what I mean? It was a totally different community. Yes, we both, could go to Driven with their numbers. You only got to bring in $1 million a year in revenue, not profit.
I'm not there yet, but you're there. I'm not there.
I'm just saying that's not a big. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to brag. It's just it's numbers. I mean, that's not a huge number. I mean, unless you're selling T-shirts, that's a huge number.
But that was one of the things they covered, right? Like, is how are people doing print on demand and drop shipping and just so fascinating.
I didn't see that one because the one they were talking about, the T-shirt and the person that's out there was doing T-shirts, they don't do on demand printing. They do large quantity or small quantity printing. And that because I went to them because I use Printful for my T-shirt stuff, and I was trying to see if there's something else in local, but what I was surprised with is how many veterans were at the event.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then I connected with them all and everything else we're doing. I mean, I'm having an app created with a bunch of people who's from the event. Yes, I can do it through vibe coding, but I don't want to have a challenge of 6 months where I know 2 people who can help me and get it done within a month or 2. So.
Well, it goes back to the who, not how, right? Like, who do you need? And the same thing you've done with the pods. You're doing good. Like last night, I updated my own website for something, and it's one of those things that could I have had a pod to do it? So I think that's the whole thing is what they say, team. If you want speed, add in more people, and the people you're working with, it's not, you could learn it. Yes. But is it worth it for you to learn it? It's good to have an idea of what you're doing, because we've talked about this before. There are people ripping people off to set up Go High Level when they're charging, $8,000 to $15,000 when it costs them like 800. So it's good to know what you're paying for
It
with
doesn't
things.
cost $800.
What?
It doesn't cost them $800 to set up somebody's high level.
Well, no, I'm saying I'm
even
just
at
making
10 hours, it's only $170.
Right, but that's it. I'm saying if you go on, you're paying how much a month? $500, all that kind of stuff, and then so let's just say it's 800, right? But people are charging 8 to 15,000 is what they were charging people, because people didn't know how easy it was.
Well, they got away with it for so long because it was so new and people didn't know. And now, I have a person oversees my pod plus my project manager who also oversees the pod. So, but the person that I have overseeing my project manager and the pod, they're doing other stuff for me. Like they're making sure all my stuff is posted, and that's the 2 podcasts. And now once another week from now, when we're caught up with everything, it's going to be slamming the rest of the stuff in and getting it in the system.
Yeah.
Because once I get my Inner Edison done, I'll be 20 weeks out, ready to have them already posted, ready to go. Created and newsletters got done. That stuff's going to start coming out. It's just all these things that you want to do. You can't do it yourself. There's just not enough time in the hours, in the day. Yeah. There's time in the hours. Give me a break.
Well, and he goes, it's funny. One of the first things when you join Ignite is you're supposed to watch Perry's 4-box program. And was Perry? No, sorry. It was an Alex Hormozy video I watched while I was rowing this weekend. And he did the whole thing. He laid out why are you wasting time on meal prep when you can pay and it costs X amount? And they gave the same thing, why are you doing yard work? And so he added up the time versus money. And it's is it smarter for you to pay these people to do these things?
Yes.
And that's what you're doing with it.
Well, I've done that forever. I hate yard work. Was Todd Duncan, who's been in my industry forever, was teaching us that in 2005.
Yeah.
About how pay other people to do this stuff for you. Don't go pick up your own dry cleaning. Have an assistant to do that. Go do this. Have an assistant to do this. And that's great and everything, unless, and that's why I'm changing what I'm doing. I'm still in the mortgage industry. I'll still do those things and the other stuff, but there's a lot more stuff I'm doing now because I want consistency and I want things to grow. Yes, things will change, but it's not like what happens in my industry.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole part. Like you were talking about Marshall Silver. It's way back in the day. I remember he talked about before. He's like, why are you wasting your time on minimum wage activities? So same thing. It's been around for a while. It's just funny because before I feel like there were a lot of people that people followed. Now I think people look at who are the major influencers. So your Dean Graziosi, your Alex Hormozy, things like that. So it's interesting because there's so many different speakers out there all saying the same thing, but who gets credited with it today? And like I said, that was Alex's whole thing. It was 20 minutes will change the next 20 years of your life. And that's all it was stop wasting time on meal prep, stop wasting time doing laundry, drop your laundry off, get your dry clean done, pay people to handle all your yard work. He even went as far as don't own a car, just Uber everywhere, depending on your commute, because that's time you could be working instead of driving. For me, I like driving. I like getting out of the house, type thing. But it was an interesting one to watch where I watched half it and I go, heard this before and changed it to something else.
Right. Well, and I see a lot of that stuff, but there's stuff I like to do. I want, I'll still do certain things. I'll work on my truck occasionally. Excuse me. I'm still tired.
I got you. Well, we'll keep this one short today. Trust me, I got home, landed, picked up kid from school. I got home Thursday. Was it definitely home Thursday? Yeah, flew home Thursday, so I did not pick up the kid. Kiddo had a event at school, picnic in the park. So flew home, worked out, changed clothes, went to the park, went home, and started watching the stuff that's in Ignite, which it's a lot. I think I told you the onboarding video is an hour. And then the first thing I recommend is
I haven't watched it yet. Yeah.
That's all I did this weekend. I'm trying to, if I spent the money, damn it, I'm going to go into it. So I've got that, and I've got Laurel's training that I need to catch back up on. And of course, I was going to do it at the hotel here. And then what did they have the first night? They had the Cowboys game on like literally 5 minutes from here. So there's an event called Live Texas Live,
Mm-hmm.
and it's where you can go in all the big screens and stuff like that. So what I do, I went and paid the money, the $10 to go people watch, and I just kind of walked around. I didn't go to the game. I just hung out here at the hotel, went over there, kind of get people watch for a little bit, and came back to the hotel, went back and forth, and I didn't get any work done like I thought I was going to the first night.
Well, I didn't watch the videos. I was focused on other stuff because one of the things I'm still building out my pod veteran course, and I'm trying to add additional stuff to it, just so it's, you know, not only get this, you get this now, you know, just give more and more. Yeah. And the fact that we found out with micro SaaS and how great that is and what you can do. You're talking about a timer like parodies. If I would have had that timer he showed, first thing I would have added a button on there, start. Yeah, start stop button. That's the first thing I would have done, because I would have known, don't refresh. That's a pain. Just hit, please build a button and have it a start stop button, you know?
Well, and so for people who don't know what vibe coding is it back in the day, you literally had to go to school to learn to code. Now vibe coding is, there's so many different platforms that are out there. And the one, what they recommend, Replit was the main one.
Replit, there's Lovable, and a few other ones. I found out Python is the language that it's doing it in. So.
Yeah. But the whole point is you don't have to know it, that you just have to know how to ask for it. And that's the big change. And anybody who's not following what's going on in job markets is coding used to be so 10 years ago, 15 years ago, let's say 15 years ago, if you were a coder, you could demand a hefty salary, because people didn't know how to write code and how to check code and how to put code in the safe and all this kind of stuff. So people went to school to be coders. And now those jobs are dwindling because AI is doing it for people. So this goes back to what we've talked about numerous times, is you have to work on multiple sources of income, right? You have to work on soft skills, people skills, providing something for people, because individual skill sets are being replaced by AI. You know, I'm here at the real estate event, and I heard somebody walk around saying that they don't believe that realtors will be here because AI will replace them all. Now, that was just one person's opinion. You look at how much people make, the percentages, up to 3 on each side, so up to 6% of a house sale. And it's like, well, but what are you really paying for? So people are scrambling. That's why people come to conferences like this, because they have to justify their value. And that isn't just here with realtors. That just happens to be the event that I'm speaking at. But it is every profession. Soon enough, you're going to have to justify your salary, or you're going to be replaced. There's a lot of companies that are already offering people either package out or take a pay cut, because we no longer have to pay you what we used to, because some of the skills can be outsourced now.
But I mean, it's going to have other jobs for other things. I see maybe the first time home buyer is still going to want someone to hold their hand and help them through the process. The people who buy big ass houses and spend a lot of money, they want to have somebody to represent them, whether it's an attorney or an agent. They're still going to have it. There will be the same
3%. That's the question.
I don't even know that it's 3% right now. It's 2 to 2.5 that I'm seeing. So that's only 4. Again, it's going to get to a point. Here's I see that our market's not going to pick up like people think it was. So when they were like, survive to 25, now it's like, oh my God, you fell in the whatever in 26. It's not, I don't know what to say with that, because I haven't come up with I'll ask ChatGPT to come make a slogan for me. But the whole thing is, I see rates getting worse, not better, because I see our economy taking off and going gangbusters and all this other stuff. And so rates aren't going to go down because of that. Unemployment's not going to happen. We've seen some layoffs, but I think the economy is going to take off so much that we're going to see people getting jobs in other places. So if you're in the mortgage,
I'm going to disagree with you. Like, I was just on something. Let's see if I can find it. The amount of people who have defaulted on their credit cards, the economy may be going up, but the cost of everything has gone up. So
what I'm getting at is, once I understand where we are right now,
right?
I'm saying within 6 months to a year, it's going to be totally different, is what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
I'm saying I get it right now, because here's what happens. People had so much money given to them by the government that they were able to do all this stuff and do all this stuff. I don't say, look at the mortgage and the real estate industry. We only had 300 and we were negative 300 housing listed this week versus positive nationwide.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, and it's, for every 100 homes listed in Florida, 59 are delisted. So, I mean, there's issues all over, but that's one market.
Right.
And I guarantee you there's so many people that were in this market and they've been holding on for so long that they're probably the ones who have all the defaulted credit cards.
Could be. I just think everybody for a little bit lived off their credit cards. Like I said, then there was money coming in. And if you watched, we talked about this on a previous episode, the great unbossing happened was that, and that is middle management has been silently been letting go at multiple corporations. So if you're up on the C-suite, you're safe. If you're the worker bee, you're safe, but the people in between have been laid off. And I know a lot of people who have been 6 months to a year applying for jobs and not getting anything because they have so much experience. Companies aren't hiring them because they're like, well, if we don't pay you this, you're going to leave us. And they don't realize those people's jobs, they just don't exist anymore. So I still think people have got to figure out what else can they do. And that's why we talked about multiple streams of income, have more than one skill set. And if your skill set, like we've talked about before, I have two sisters that are graphic artists. One of them stayed a graphic artist. Luckily, her portfolio is so well done that she is basically safe. Then the other sister moved over to HubSpot. Why? Because she knew marketing will always be needed. And so she's a HubSpot expert. And that actually helps her.
Lost all of its, was that HubSpot that lost all of its traffic?
It lost a large majority of its traffic. Yeah, but companies still implement HubSpot. So they work in the real estate industry, new homes, things of that nature. And HubSpot is still the main way that marketing goes out for all the different companies.
I mean, there's so many. I get so right now, $1 million homes and above is just no problem. People are buying them left and right because they have money, they have cash, they have money. The middle class and below are hurting.
Yes, and
that's where the issue is, and that's why I'm thinking, just from what I'm seeing and everything else, I don't, everybody wants rates to drop so that this can happen, which we do, but then if we did, values of homes are going to go up and nobody's going to be able to afford them anyway.
Yeah.
Even more.
Well, I have numerous people who are trapped right now of they want to take the equity out of their home, but the problem is they're going to have to move 10 to 15 miles farther away from where they are because now they can't afford to live where they live. And it's a classic problem.
Stay where you are. Don't take the equity out.
Yeah.
Keep that 2% interest rate and just figure it out.
Exactly.
I mean, because that's the thing is, why do you want to move further away to take the equity out and buy a smaller, I understand it. Just, so here's what I'm getting at. I think things are going to change. Not, and here's the thing. I want to get to the point where I don't care. Yeah.
Well, that's what you're doing. You're working multiple companies, exactly what we're talking about. Multiple things, not just relying, because you went through that where you had one thing and that industry changed and you were effed for a while. Right. I mean,
I've been F for a long time. It's not, I mean, I'm decently doing what I'm doing, but it's not where I had the staff and everybody else I had and the volume. I looked at my numbers in 21, and 22 going, holy cow. Now I know why everybody was calling me wanting to hire me.
Yeah.
Don't they know I work for myself? I mean, what I did in those 3 years is, more than I did in my whole 25 years put together.
Yeah.
For each one of the years.
Yeah.
It was just crazy numbers because I had a team and everybody was coming to me volume wise. But the problem was we weren't making as much as we make now on a transaction.
Yeah.
Because there was smaller transaction. It was a refinance boom. They could call anybody. There's TV saying we'll do it for nothing. You know what I mean? It's just, so you just did what you could, make what you could.
Yeah. Anyway, we got kind of off track, but
no, it's about the economy and here's what I'm getting at is, I don't care where it's going. Go figure something out and do that instead of work for somebody is where I'm getting.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what I was going to say, going back to all the different things that were out there, because there were people who were marketing experts. There were AI experts. There were people who teach you how to use AI to create unique videos to capture attention. Who else spoke? Perry talked a little bit about everything.
Before we go there, this morning I'm always at the gym. So one of my purposes of going to Growth Hacking Live was to meet Nuno, and I watch his videos every morning. And today he was on. This is an older one with the high HPL guy, high level. Their tools for high level. They were at the event. Big glasses guy. I'll show you. Anyway, they were talking.
Matt DeSenio.
Yes, thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So they were talking about how somebody could start a job with and use all this stuff. And one of their easiest things was do is there's so many people with their garages full of junk and they can't get it out of there. Start a business to help people get that stuff out of their garage and make money off of it. Kind of a Gary V thing. Storage units. How many people have a storage unit that has junk in it and they don't know how to get rid of the stuff because it's a feat. That is such an easy thing to do that people could do part-time and then make additional money and then figure out what else they want to do. It was just I was like, wow, this is really thinking outside I guess going back to Gary V's original days.
Yeah. Well, and you look at Facebook, figure that out. That's why there's Facebook Marketplace, but it's still you're doing the work versus they doing the work for you. But look, Facebook figured out, oh, look, we can make money off of advertising. We can make money off this. And that's what you haven't watched Perry's 4-box thing yet, but there's 4 quadrants of what you can charge and what it's going to pay. And it'll be kind of remedial, but it's still insightful at the same time. You look back and you go, okay, oh, that's why that person has the $7 giveaway. Oh, that's why that person's course is only $49 versus whatever. And they gives examples when they're going through it. But that's the whole thing is it's not one thing. And look, I was an employee for 21 years and we saw how that ended, right? Like I had one job, I made really good money. And then one day that job was gone and loyalty didn't matter, right? 0 severance. Texas is a right to work state. So then I went from here to nothing. And even when I started speaking the first year, I thought, oh, I just want to be a speaker. Speakers don't make much money the first few years. So then you have to have courses, you have to have other verticals, other things to sell. And that's what we're talking about. Even if you have a job, you need to have a hobby or some way to make money because jobs aren't safe anymore. And even if you do your own thing, make sure you dabble in a few different things. You can have your primary, right? What's your niche? What are you known for? But then you can have other things. Like you're a good example of that. You're going to have your podcasting course, right? You still are going to be in the mortgage industry. You still have other things going on, but not everybody's thinking that way. Everybody just assumes, just like everybody's going to live forever. Oh, well, I'll just go get this job and I'll be good for the rest of my life. That's not a reality. It's not a smart way to live life. I mean, if you make good money and you're happy doing what you do, great. But you need to have something that if they came in today and said the company's insolvent, and let's use that as an example. So there was a mastermind I was in. It's called Impact 11. It was all about speakers. And so how do you learn this? How do you learn that? And they charged credit cards on Monday. Tuesday, got an email. Hey, we found some irregularities. We're insolvent. Now, they had X amount of employees who it wasn't an individual who got laid off. The entire thing gone.
Wow. One
in
day.
a week. Yeah. So it's just, so here's people.
Funny how they charge the credit cards.
That was an ironic thing, right?
Very ironic. Let's charge the credit cards right before we go insolvent,
Exactly.
so we have money.
I mean, it
was
a monthly
they
thing,
must have been
yeah,
out of Florida, right?
I don't know where they're actually out of Detroit, but who knows where their DBA, like they probably are a Delaware company like everybody else for their main thing. But yeah, so that's an entire industry of people laid off. And a few of the people who were founders they said like, hey, we'll still jump on webinars. We'll still do things. They were trying to make it right for some people. But all their teams are gone. And, it's just one of those things you never know. So anyway, I got to get back down.
All right. So, yeah. Appreciate you being here today. Appreciate you giving us the time. You too, Brian. I was talking to everybody.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Again, we'll be back. You're around for Thursday. I can't remember.
Yeah, I'll be back. Yeah, the event ends today, Tuesday, and then I'll be back home.
All right, everybody, make it a great day. We'll be back on Thursday. And again, thanks for putting up with us today. All right, Brian. Thanks.